So we wait 1 minute. I see people entering the room. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for some of you. For us, is in Brussels, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us from different parts of the world. Thank you for your interest and for this second session and your interest in the series, because we had a lot of feedback. The South-South series on empowering and growing women-led businesses that we launched COLEAD with UN Women. Specifically the group in the Caribbean, but these series are global, meaning that we target all continents and, of course, women-led businesses across the world. And today, the topic of today is very interesting, is very important for any business, which is the strategies, the effective strategies on marketing and branding. So as usual, you know that we have these sessions in French and English. We have presenters today from the Caribbean and Africa, from English and French-speaking parts. So you know that at the bottom of your screen, I think we have a slide, the next slide, but at the bottom of your screen, you have a globe that where you can choose your language, English or French. So please do that in the language you are most comfortable. We will have the 2 languages from our speakers. The session is recorded. As you know, the recording, as well as the presentations, as well as some highlights of this session and resources on the topic will be shared as we did last time with the audience. So don't worry, you will get everything that is shared today. And also when you, for the speakers, when you speak, please do that clearly, that our interpreters that we thank in advance actually can follow. We will ask you as well to, although we have a session, a Q&A session after all presenters, we do ask you already in the form of chat to put some questions after the presentations of each one, comments, inputs, whatever you want to share with the audience. In the next slides, we did quickly some of the, the objectives of those series, and I hope that you will come to many of them if you are available and interested on very different topics. Is a very key collaboration. It's, of course, aimed at sharing and promoting collaboration among women entrepreneurs across continents. And we will share with you more the tools we have to share this information. We want to highlight successful women-led businesses in different value chains, in different countries, in different continents, and also, of course, to enhance the opportunities for business, exchanges, and also knowledge and experience exchanges. So basically, in the next slides, we have just summarized, here you have the presenters of today. So we'll have Nigeria, Guinea in Africa, the Bahamas, and Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean. In the coming sessions, we will have as well from other continents. And we will have the presentations, the Q&A, and then some closing remarks from Alonso. In the next slides, we just put some of, no, it's the previous ones. I think that we, actually, we just summarized a bit the topic of today on branding and marketing. Next slide, Aoifa, and how important it is. Next slide. Yes, the participants, that's to give you an idea on this one and the coming ones, but we will get back to that. Next slide. We extracted just very, very short bullets. Of course, you have details in the note that we share with you, that it's a key challenge that women entrepreneurs, women and men, of course, entrepreneurs face at some point, in their in the growth of their enterprise. It's really a limiting factor, and even more for women, because the different, challenges that they face, be on accessing marketing budgets, on having staff, dedicated staff, that can support that part, which is also, very specialized in some cases on to navigate all these digital complexities in marketing and branding. And of course, all the stereotypes that we want to expose and discuss in those sessions that are specifically, due to the gender factor and sometimes age factor or both. And in the next slides, what we want to discuss today, through experiences, the experiences of our speakers, is how their strategies in marketing and branding, their strategies have helped their specific business to grow, to attract new customers, to be competitive, to basically develop. And now this brand differentiation has brought more income, more money to the business, but also more networks and more visibility. And how, as a women, they have encountered very specific challenges, and now they have dealt with those. And of course, for some of them, the e-commerce and that digital presence is very, very important, or will be very important in the growth trajectory. And we want a bit to learn how these opportunities can be captured. So the next slide gives you just this very summary of the importance of in terms of visibility, of course, of the enterprise and the entrepreneur, and the team, the credibility that you can build, reaching more customers, more interest, and in fine, more customers and more, of course, incomes, and all the driving the changes and the sustainability factor as well. So without more delay, I would like to introduce to you the speakers of today. And we will start by 𝗦𝗁𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗧 from Nigeria, who is really a very highly accomplished entrepreneur. She is a business strategist. She has a lot of experience in emerging markets, in information technology, a strong interest and also knowledge on business analysis, service delivery management, business planning and strategy, and of course the branding and marketing is a part of it. She founded 𝗦𝗁𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗴𝗶, which is a food innovation company in the area of gluten-free, nutrient-dense, and nut-based products. So obviously that promotes much more healthier products, lifestyles, and also more sustainable patterns. She's very much involved in many of the networks, business networks that are very important, and we always encourage the entrepreneurs to be involved on those, from the Tony Elumelu Foundation, the African Women Entrepreneurship Cooperative, the Impact Hub Lagos, Women Entrepreneurship for Africa, and so on and so on. You will have all the details in the biodata that my colleagues are sharing. So first of all, thank you very much, because you are all very, very busy. So 𝗦𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗧, thank you very, very much for joining us. So what I would like that you perhaps present to us, and those that don't know you among the audience, what is your company about? What do you do? What are your products? What are your markets? A bit that part, and then we will have some conversation on, on taking this topic forward, branding and marketing. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Iselina. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. My name is 𝗦𝗁𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗧. I am the founder of 𝗦𝗁𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗧. The 𝗦𝗁𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂 is a sustainable food processing company. We make gluten-free food products from locally grown edible nuts. And the purpose is, one, to reduce food waste, and also to improve nutrition, because we're all about healthy living. We're a zero sugar company. And so all our sweeteners are plant-based, and we use innovative food processing to convert nuts into flours, alternative flours, into lactose-free beverages, snacks and crisps, and all whatnot. So the nut place.
Is it me or we lost the sound?
This was conceived whilst I was on a journey, and I had gone grocery shopping, and I discovered hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
So
we
I
lost you a
discovered
few seconds, but now we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I was saying that the nut place.
𝗕𝗁𝗂𝗂, we have some challenges, sound challenges actually. Perhaps if you can, I don't know if you can hear me.
Born
𝗕𝗁𝗂𝗂,
on,
we lost you. Please remove your camera, perhaps. We just lost.
Can you hear me now?
Now we are hearing you. Can you remove your camera? Perhaps it will help a bit.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Try again, please, because we lost this latest part.
Okay. All right. All right then. Okay. So in early 2010, my mom was diagnosed as being diabetic, and you know, she had to change her diet and all what. And it was at the point where I was seeking for looking for something sustainable to do, and looking for something of impact. And as a result of the change of diet, I saw how a change of nutrition improved her condition. And then I thought to myself that, look, it just can't be only us. We just can't be the only one experiencing this, you know. There has to be something for the community. And so that was what started this journey. And when I discovered nut flours in other countries, so I had gone on a trip, and then I discovered nut flours. But then the ingredients were from West Africa. So, and it was something we had. So I just thought to myself that we needed to convert this into food that, you know, would be affordable and accessible to the people around us. And so that was the beginning of a journey. Now, this journey led me to visiting a medium-sized processing company, and then it was like a crash course on nut processing, and then the business started. So we have 8 shelf-stable products in the market, which are licensed by our local Food and Drugs Agency. And over time, we have improved in our branding, in our marketing. So we started out with, you know, when we started, I didn't have money. So I started from my mom's kitchen and did a sampling, and people gave their opinions. And we went back to food to development of a product. And then we went to market. Now, going to market, we had people bringing their feedback, because we're open to people receiving feedback from people. So people bringing feedback to us, this is what we think, this product is good, but I think, you know, you need to improve on the packaging, you need to improve on the branding and all that. So gradually we have improved on our branding, and it is a gradual process, because one of the challenges we encountered was cash constraints, because having to go sustainable using biodegradable packages and all that wasn't so cheap. It didn't come cheap. So we've gone gradually to right now we're about 60% all biodegradable packs, and we are aiming for 100% by the end of the year. So that has also improved our revenue, because now we can compete on the shelves because one of the things we couldn't do before was we couldn't compete on the level playing ground, because some of our competitors had better branding, had better packaging. So in changing our packaging, we've been able to compete to play on a good playing ground. And then for our marketing, we have we use social media, we use our website, and as much as possible, try to engage our customers both online and offline. We also do exhibitions, and one of the international exhibitions we've done is the Summer Fancy Food Show. And there, we also got feedback from the American market, because then we had to meet with retailers, we had to meet with distributors, and we had to get what they want, because as much as we wanted to get into the American market, and so we needed to get what they wanted so that we can serve them better. And also when we're getting into the market, we'll be able to compete fairly. So that's what we've done in terms of our marketing, in terms of our branding. And yeah, so one of the benefits to us is increase in revenue. We've been able to sustain our customers. We've been able to retain customers as a result of improved branding, improved sales, and improved marketing. So Isolina is
thank you.
Am I right on time?
Yes, very much. Thank you. Very, very interesting, actually. I have a couple of, in addition to encouraging, of course, the participants to put the comments and questions in the chat, and Nina is collecting those. I would like to, all this part on healthy food styles, all the healthier niche that you have, as well as the sustainability, which is very important. And as you say, it is not cheap. It requires investments, money, because you have to gradually change your packaging and other parts of the business. Do you think that really it positions your brand? Because sometimes it's areas which are difficult for an entrepreneur, because people don't understand how much investment it requires. So sometimes they go for cheaper option. Do you think that your branding and marketing really position your brand, the Nut Place, on the values of sustainability and healthy food styles, health, basically? You think that for you was really easy, and you felt that it was the right niche, and you got quite a lot back in terms of sales and increase of revenues? And then I have also, because the line is not very, very good, you are also a mentor, like many of the entrepreneurs today. You are a mentor for other women entrepreneurs, for other young entrepreneurs in Nigeria, in Africa. You are also a business strategist. What do you think that are the mistakes, in terms of marketing and branding that women entrepreneurs make, and how could they avoid them and kind of be, smart about it? Thank you.
Okay, all right. So I would say that from my experience, I would say, okay, so I'm a business planner, and I believe what we're doing is we're doing well. So for a while, we had our design, and we had an option of going for something cheaper, but I didn't want us to do cheaper, because cheaper wasn't going to hit the goal for us in terms of sustainability. So I wanted to position our brand as a sustainable brand. I wanted us to be seen as ethical, because that is the goal, to produce food ethically and to give people healthy food that are high quality, healthy food. So I didn't want cheaper, because that would defeat the purpose. So we somewhat had to walk towards getting what we wanted. You know, we had to work towards it in terms of financing. We had to work towards it in terms of, okay, first we had a design, and then we had to look for people that would do sustainable pouches for us. And when we got the prize, we had to go back to the table. How do we meet the financial goal for this? Do we do some little form of printing and then go back to the market, size up the market, and see what people feel about it before doing the bulk packaging, which was what we did, you know. And when we got the feedback, we had to fill the market with our pouches, with our packaging. And when we got the green light that, you know, people loved it, and oh, we love this packaging. Oh, this is nice. This is good. This is different, you know. And then we have to now go back and say, okay, so we're on the right path. So I would say for women, because we do not have so much cash, disposable cash, I will say that we do not waste money we're not under pressure to print or to do things because other people are doing it. So don't be under pressure. Work at your pace. Give yourself time to either save the money, look for a grant, look for a loan, something that, you know, will not put so much pressure on your company, or, you know, and then when you launch out, you're launching out well. And because, you know, people want to associate with a brand that, you know, is valuable to them. So I would say, don't be under pressure, you know, take it a step at a time. If, you know, give yourself the timeline, the milestone timeline, and then work towards it. Work towards what that goal is.
Excellent, thank you. And perhaps the last comment is also, did you felt like as a woman you had much more, you know, difficulties in that space, and how, you know, the initiatives you are involved in, like the 𝗦𝗁𝗻𝗄𝗏 Foundation, I know it, but also the Google Hustle Academy and so on. How did they, you know, help you and support you in your branding and marketing approach? And is that something that you recommend as being involved in networks, being, you know, proactive in getting these kind of contacts?
Okay, so the 𝗤𝗁𝗻𝗄𝗏𝗶 Foundation was very instrumental, and they've been instrumental since we got the grants. So they give us opportunities for networking, opportunities to they showcase the entrepreneurs outside giving us the grants. You know, they give us opportunity to showcase our products either on a radio show, on a television show. So this has also helped our marketing. You know, when you get a feature on a TV show, or you get a feature on a radio show, it helps with our visibility. So I will say apply for such programs, you know, because they help build the business. They help with the PR aspect of your business, you know. So it has helped us. Also, the Google Hustle Academy, it has helped us also outside the trainings that, you know, and the mentorship, the financial aspect is there, the PR aspect is there. It all comes together and it helps the marketing. So, and also I see someone was asking, sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to answer one or two questions from that I see from the chat room.
Nina will bring.
You're muted.
Sorry, we bring the Q&A at the end, but if something links
okay,
one of the comments with what you are saying, you can say it. I mean, please, if something links with what you just mentioned, go on.
Yeah, so like I said, getting into such incubation programs, into the accelerators, they help you, and they help you with also the money, because some of this accelerator give you money, you know, to grow your business, and then you now determine and tell them, okay, this is what I want to use the money for, and then you know there's a monitoring and evaluation aspect of it, and so yes. So for the person asking, how did I get the money for the activity? The grant helps with that.
Yeah. We also share, I mean, a lot of opportunities within our networks with UN Women. We will mention some again in the feedback we will give you, but it's always important to get into connections, of course. We get that from all entrepreneurs. And sometimes it's grants, sometimes it's knowledge, it's skills, you know, all is kind of important. Huh? And of course, you always want grants and money, but you have to be very much involved in many of those networks and contacts. And hopefully also sessions like this bring this part. So thank you very much. She goes, yeah, I like very much your model of sustainability, you know, the nuts, I mean, focusing in one product, and all the efforts you have done on the branding and marketing in Nigeria, which is very, very competitive country in terms of business. It's really very, very difficult to get into a market. And I know that you are now looking as well to export markets, including also within the Africa continent. So we will get back to you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Now,
thank you, Iselina.
Thank you.
And if you don't mind, also, I'd like to say that as much as we serve the Nigerian market, we're also open to serving other West African markets as well as the European market. So my contact is on the screen, and if anyone is interested, they can get in touch with me, and then we can take it from there.
Perfect, perfect. I'm sure that you will get interest. So see you in a while. And we are waiting for Fatou. She's in Senegal. She's in the field. There are some connection problems. So not to delay, we are going to Felicia. And Felicia is in the Bahamas, quite different from Nigeria, also not on entrepreneurship, I believe. So Felicia, you are based in the Bahamas. You are a creative, influencer, and STEM entrepreneur. You are the CEO of 𝗲𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Studios, which is really a brand, communications and content marketing firm. And you have really made a space for yourself and be known in providing services like web development, marketing, media production, to very, very high level, policy people as well as business. Policy in the sense of Office of the Prime Minister, big firms like the Freeport, Subway, Disney, and things like that. So you will tell us a bit more. But of course, you have also launched your own brand, your own 𝗲𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, which is a video platform. And that for you, it's what is important is to show the culture and the creativity of the Bahamas, the Bahamian people through video production. So of course you have a very wide reach, and you will tell us more about the business and also perhaps some features on the people, on the customers you have had, or the entrepreneurs you have helped, or you are still helping, a bit what are some of the commonalities, or some of the tips, or some of the things that are important for our audience. Thank you very much for being with us, Felicia. Please go ahead. You are muted. Yeah, perfect.
Hi, everyone. First off, I would just like to thank you guys for joining us today. It's no small thing to run a business as a woman. And events like these remind us that we don't have to do it alone. Big shout out to the UN Women and COLEAD for creating this space where women empowerment and growth aren't just buzzwords, but action. Next slide, please. So my name is Felicia Frazier. I am a filmmaker. I am a creative influencer, and the founder of 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀. Hailing from the beautiful islands of the Bahamas, my company helps brands find their creative potential and go viral while doing it. Over the past 6 years, we've helped our clients reach over 4.8 million globally and earning features with UN Women, Silicon Valley Draper University, Disney Travel Blog, and more. As she mentioned earlier, our clients include Disney Cruise Line, Subway, local Subway, Four Seasons, and some really good local brands as well. Next slide. So today, I'm here to talk about what I call the art of going viral. It's not just creating trends, but creating transformation. As they say, the proof is in the pudding. So I want to start off with a little backstory. My entrepreneurship journey began in 2019, before the pandemic, thank God, when I did a crazy thing. I quit my well-paying job as a full-stack developer to chase a crazy dream of creating fun, entertaining, and culturally rich Bahamian content. With no real plan and a second-hand camera, I launched my brand. But guess what? Just in 3 months, our videos got over 400,000 views. And to put that into perspective, the Bahamas only has 300,000 people in it. So I don't know where the extra 100,000 came from. But what I realized is there was a problem. It wasn't until after the fact I discovered that there was no way for me to monetize my videos that went viral on Facebook and YouTube because I was based in the Bahamas. So I had to pivot. I took the lessons I learned from going viral and I built a creative agency to help other brands do the same. I focus on making my business profitable and sustainable. Fast forward to today, 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 is now a full service agency with its own studio space, a team of 10, and a passion for turning content into connection. Next slide. All right, so let's just get to the juicy bits and tips that I'm going to share with you today. So this is my Go Viral with a Purpose framework that I'm sharing with you. People pay us thousands of dollars, up to 5 figures, to get what I'm giving you today for free. So let's get started with what you should stop doing and what you should start doing instead. Talking about a 3-part business hack to viral branding and marketing. So the first thing is you should stop running a faceless brand and instead start building a brand identity that drives impact through empowerment. Just a bonus note here, female representation is very important in the industries we operate in. So I want to encourage all led female business owners to stop hiding behind your brand. Take this one action step from this first point that I give you to find 3 empowerment-driven brand values and run them through ChatGPT to create your one-year content calendar. The next thing that I want you to stop doing and start doing is stop treating social media as a strategy where you post and hope. You post it is like throwing things to the wall and hoping something stick. We need to stop that. Instead, what I want you to do is realize that social media is a stage and owning it with consistency. So you need to own it with consistency and intentionality. The action step that I want you to take from this is pick one platform, commit to posting 3 posts a week using a mixed plan content and intentional storytelling. Use the free post scheduling feature on the platform that would help you save time. It won't drive you crazy. Auto posting and scheduling templates is the livelihood of my business. We don't do anything from scratch. Everything is from a template and everything is planned. The last, of course, but not least, is ask yourself, last but not least, what I want you to stop doing, but what I want you to start doing is stop underestimating the power of beauty through storytelling. Instead, what I want you to start doing is design to be desired. Make your content screenshot worthy. The action step that you need to take from this tidbit is ask yourself, would someone screenshot this and send it to a friend? If yes, then you post it. And guess what? Even though I talk about the beauty of storytelling, what I want you to take note in this, the screen that you're seeing right now is the video, the screenshot that is on the left side of you. You don't need fancy gear to do what you need to do on social media. You don't need fancy gear to have the most viral branding or most viral marketing. This video alone did 40,000 views on a secondhand camera that was very poor quality. But what we did is we knew that we lacked, when we first started the business, we didn't have the capital. So we added lighting, we added cool effects, cool sounds to the videos. And short attention span is a thing. And the fact that this 8-minute video did 40,000 views tell you what it is to understand the power of beauty through storytelling. Another thing is we found out what our audience was. What we realized is when I assessed the market at the beginning, I realized that in content creation and video platforms, it was very male dominated in my country. We had very few, for me, female influencers doing very well in the space. And so I did what I did best. When women do something, we do something very well. So I put something out there that nobody else had, and is testing our culture on film. And so we have something in the Bahamas called bush medicine. So it's like, instead of going through the modern day natural Western medicine, we would go in the bush and we would point out certain leaves and we would boil it and we would drink it. This is an art form in our country that a lot of young children don't know about. So I said, how can I educate people who have either forgotten this part of our culture or need to be reminded as part of our culture? And what I did was I brought children ages 7, 8, and 9, and I blindfolded them and I had them taste bush medicine for the very first time. And bush medicine is very bitter. And so their reaction of tasting something that's very staple in our Bahamian culture, and then their childlike playfulness caused the video to go viral. And to this day, you have teachers using the same video in their classroom to teach about bush medicine. And so, like I say, you don't need to have the best fancy gear to get the viral content. So next slide. Okay, so I want to end with be great and go viral. To conclude my presentation with a thought, you don't need perfection to make an impact. You just need clarity, consistency, and a little courage. Thank you for listening, and thank you, UN Women and COLEAD, for calling upon me to be a part of this amazing event. If you would like to connect, just scan the QR code. I'm always happy to support women doing amazing work. Let's grow together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Felicia. It's very impressive how you overcame challenges due really to gender, because it's a very is a very male, less and less, but still male dominated, and media space as well. So it's great to see that. It was one of my questions, and certainly of the audience as well, is budgets, because we always think that this part is costly and we don't always have the budget. You are telling us that it's not that costly, that you have to have a storytelling, which is true. Storytelling is to say more than your products and markets. It's really to make a story on the origin of the food or the farmers you work with. That's for agriculture, of course. You work in other areas. And, it's really a story that someone can sit and say, oh, I didn't understand this product, but I understand beyond the product what it entails, you know, and what from this country, from these people that are behind the product and so on. So you tell us that even MSMEs, small companies, which are the, you know, the biggest part of the audience and the people we bring, they can do with a small budget. I would like just, which is great. So it's you know, encouraging, just from your experience on the training part, because you still have to start a bit somewhere. And as you said, not just post something and just wait that people, because life is short, people are busy, and you know, you have really to attract the attention. And would you encourage people to still do a minimum of training or skills enhancement on, you know, how to better write the story, on how to better use social media, or just, you know, communication? Is it something yourself you went through? Because a lot, I think, but you're a specialist, I'm not. I think a lot is still accessible and free, and you know, there is a lot out there. What is a bit your experience, or some of the customers you serve, the customers, not only the private sector, the companies, but some of the policy makers, the high-level policy makers that have used your services?
Okay, so what I like to brag about is that I am completely self-taught. And I didn't attend a university, but what I did attend is YouTube and a university. So I get a lot of my training and ideas from watching YouTube videos, having conversations with other creatives or persons in my industry. But what it is a lot of my experience also just being in the work and doing things and kind of learning along the way. You mentioned me doing work for the Office of the Prime Minister in my country. We got that contract during the pandemic, and the government was basically the lead communications platform and institution on what was happening during the pandemic. So we were responsible for posting stuff on the website, posting the emergency notices that was coming directly from the leader of our country, and we were responsible for keeping the website up. And in that whole year with the pandemic, we pushed the platform to get over 1 million views, and from that was something I've never ever experienced before, having to deal with creating content and managing a platform that need this much viral. Even though that's not funny viral like what we was doing, but it was like policy viral where people needed this information. And so even in that experience, I learned so much just being in there, managing a platform that have over 1 million people coming to it, getting information. So it's just being in there, learning as I go, and taking what I learned for the next project. And so that's what you should do always in your business.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We get back to you in the Q&A, and surely what we will do, Alonso, Nina, Awefa, I mean the team working behind that, we will also put resources of, you know, courses, trainings, but just as you say, YouTube videos and so on that you can access and you can, you know, taught yourself. And we have no choice today than just to skill and reskill ourselves, any of us, in any of the areas. What I like about your story as well is beyond, of course, I come from the agriculture sector myself, but those sessions are not only about the agriculture, and it resonates to any sector actually you work in. So, you know, the communication and media steps, of course, the story will change and the storytelling, but, you know, there are approaches that you can use in any of the sectors you work with. So thank you very much from the Bahamas, a small island in the Pacific with a great passion and great work. Thank you very much. We are still trying to get Fatou from Senegal, but while we wait with the connection, you see the challenges in working in the field and in countries where sometimes there is a connection problem, is to go to stay actually in the Caribbean, but to go to Trinidad and Tobago, to Rachel Rennie, who know well, or at least I know well, and I'm always very pleased to see her. She's the co-founder and the managing director of 𝗬𝗬𝗬𝗬𝗬, and working very, very closely with over 250 farmers and artisans, so really local people with local knowledge and local skills to transform the local food supply chain using digital platforms to bridge that gap between consumers and producers, which is key because you reach consumers as well through your marketing and branding, as you have seen with the previous speakers. And really, Rachel, through the 𝗬𝗧𝗏𝗧, has really pioneered innovative solutions in food distribution, including her market-driven insights for farmers and the introduction of click and collect store, and that adapts very easily to evolving consumer needs. And you have to, of course, listen to the consumer needs to immediately adapt your products, but importantly, your branding and marketing as well. And she will tell us a bit more, but she's also the founder of Farm and Function TT for Trinidad and Tobago, which processes and exports frozen Caribbean fruits and really supports agripreneurs in branding and market development. So that's very important. You would have seen that the entrepreneurs that came here are not only successful entrepreneurs despite challenges, but they are also mentors and supporters of other entrepreneurs, among whom many women and youth. And of course, you are also, an awarded person. You were an Anthony Sabga laureate for entrepreneurship in 2025, recognized just recently. Congratulations. And very, very passionate, of course, about the digital and entrepreneurship, but also about the sustainability, very important. Thank you very much, Rachel. Give us a bit more information on the business, the products, the markets. And good to see you.
Yes, hi, thank you. Good morning or good afternoon to everyone. Rachel Rani, as Iselina mentioned, I'm so happy to be here. And, the previous speaker just is inspiring me as well. Knowing that there are women all over the world, with similar challenges, trying to build their brand. I think these platforms are very important for us to share and sort of grow from. So as Iselina mentioned, I am Rachel Rani Gonzalez, and I'm the co-founder of 𝗬𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 I like to eat. I like good food, but I'm especially passionate about local food and pushing that passion through my businesses. So Market Movers is an online delivery service of greengrocer items. And I mean, starting online, it was because of necessity. I started this business in my mom's gallery, taking orders from friends and families, offline and delivering to their door. And we couldn't really afford a brick and mortar, a storefront. So I had some experience in digital, and I built a website on Yahoo, a free and embedded a jot form link. And the business has sort of grown from that. And I think because we started in 2009, we were the first to market. And because we were online, we had that credibility very early on. Of course, it took some time to grow. During the pandemic, our business sort of exponentially grew because, of course, people needed access to fresh ingredients and it had to be, delivered to their door without contact. So we were able to launch, really scale during that period. And after the pandemic, we opened a click and collect store where persons can now pick up their orders through our store. And just to give you some context, if you look at the picture, the date stamp is 2009. My business partner, 𝗬𝗲𝗀𝗶𝗲𝗴𝗏. I think for me, one benefit was that I do have a business partner who is a guy. But of course, my challenges and experiences were very different, or with his as well. And this is us, when we first started our first delivery. I had some crazy hairstyles back in the day. But as you'll see, I evolved and grew the business over time by following what the customer needed, right? And as you can see, we had the click and collect store where persons can now pick up because after the pandemic, people were moving around. So we decided to do a very small click and collect store where persons can still order online, but pick up at the location. One advantage of being online, and I think this is something integrating technology into your business is so important. We have so much data. We're able to see, what are the top products that persons are buying, what are they searching for on the website, and this data is very important to kind of guide where to go to next. A lot of times we try to create new products, but we also need to see what the consumer, what's happening in the market, why are people searching for kale all of a sudden, or local fruits and ingredients. And just to give you some context, we've gone from 10 online shoppers, and this is like family and friends, to over 10,000 online shoppers. And this is just from being in the digital space since 2009 and sort of growing and targeting those markets. We went from 10 deliveries to over 500,000 deliveries made. David and I were doing the deliveries in the beginning. We now have drivers and stuff, and we work with a service that delivers that. And we were told in the beginning that Trinidadians, Caribbean people would not buy food on the internet. To date, we've sold over this needs to update, but 1.5 million pounds of local food on the internet. So it shows you that, someone can literally buy a breadfruit online and have it delivered to their door, or an avocado. And during the pandemic as well, we have a lot of diaspora and foreign customers who send food for their family, nutritious foods for their family home. So it's almost like they're sending food remittances back to the Caribbean. We had to evolve as well because people are so busy, they don't even have time to cook. So we launched our wellness meals to go. We worked with chefs, and we've been able to have wellness meals to go. Coming out of that business, we decided to kind of go offline, where we have a farm to table monthly dining event, where we show persons that you can create meals with 95% local ingredients, farm fresh ingredients, and we host these meals all over the country on different farms. And it's really to highlight the importance of integrating local ingredients in your menu. When we would service restaurants, they would prefer the imported fruits and vegetables, but we had to show that, there's a lot of value in our local fruits, our local chocolate, and all these ingredients. So through Market Movers, we received a call from a customer saying, her husband, unfortunately, was diagnosed with cancer and needed to make smoothies. Pretty soon, we noticed that this customer was consuming way more fruits than she would if it were fresh, because it was frozen and it was stored, and she had that extended shelf life to make smoothies. That business, we started cutting up fruits and putting it in Ziploc bags. We've been able to evolve and grow to do branded packaging, and we distribute locally, nationwide, and we also export to other islands across the Caribbean. Again, using the data from customers, on the shelf only had strawberries and berries. And for Caribbean people, we love mango, we love passion fruits, we love these Caribbean fruits. And we wanted to create fruit flavors that were indigenous to the Caribbean, but also that had high nutritional value. We are literally farm to table. Again, we work with farmers. They grow for us, or we as well, some of our team members, we are in agriculture as well. We grow the fruit, blast, freeze it, and then package it and put it on the shelf, right? We have pawpaw, pineapple. And one thing with packaging, which I think earlier is important, and I agree, sustainability is a big part of the global market. So we compost all our organic matter. Unfortunately, with frozen packaging, we don't have biodegradable just yet, but we compost all our organic matter, and that's turned back into compost for the farmers. So we try to at least incorporate some sort of sustainability, environmental sustainability in what we do. Again, we're competing with imported fruits like Dole and big brands. So we wanted to make sure that our frozen, the packaging, the branding looked amazing. And this came from years of experience, just seeing what the other packaging looks like. So I would suggest going to the grocery, look to see what your biggest competitor, who your biggest competitor is, and seeing how their packaging, how you can improve your packaging to reflect those requirements. Again, we've been exporting, and we've been able to export regionally. And the brand has sort of taken on its own. We've been doing it for about 8 or 9 years, and agro-processing is a different part of what we do. So once we launched this brand, all these other food SMEs and food businesses came to us and we're like, you know, we want to grow our brand too. We want to create that. And we felt this was necessary for us because when we go to retailers and bigger buyers, they feel like local food brands are inferior. You know, the packaging doesn't always look great, the quality, the standardization. And we realize that that is what those bigger brands do. They maintain their quality, they standardize so that every time someone buys it, it's, you know, a certain standard. Of course, in the Caribbean with local fruits, there's some nuances with, you know, flavor and depending on the season, but you can explain all that in your digital and social media marketing. We've worked with brands, you know, amazing brands. We have like Cocoa Wine. This brand was able to win an award internationally for their packaging. We've worked with 100-year-old companies like Hong Wing, who's evolved from coffee, regular coffee, to now flavored coffees to evolve and grow with the market. And, you know, working with other food brands, and we work with brands all across the Caribbean to help them with their branding, their marketability, and their packaging. And with the experience that we have around food distribution, we could kind of guide them on, you know, how to integrate, you know, advanced features like having the QR code to scan and persons can see recipes for your products. So that is the last, well, I'm not sure if it's going to be the last business that I do, but it's definitely the last leg right now of how we've evolved our passion for food. I also help e-commerce businesses. And as Selena mentioned, you know, recently received the 𝗕𝗁𝗲𝗂𝗃𝗲𝗴𝗶𝗃𝗲 Entrepreneurship Award. And these recognitions really, you know, I've been doing talks, I've been able to share my story, and just knowing when I first started, it's kind of unbelievable. My last message is, especially around food, is that if you do eat, you are involved in agriculture. It is not the responsibility of just the farmers or the producers. It is everyone's responsibility to support local food systems wherever you are and really buy into that. So thank you and looking forward to questions.
Thank you very much, Rachel. It's always so nice to hear you as well. I mean, to see the incredible products. I mean, locally made, which is something I'm very happy, you know, because the distinction you said that was there, huh? And in some cases is still there between international with high, you know, money and possibilities, and the local a bit behind is kind of hover or can be hover. So that is great news. While still, you know, promoting the local production and using the local people, because they need jobs, they need, you know, it cannot be, you can have imports, but it cannot be all imported. And we will get back to the packaging. I'm sure that Nina has questions on that, but it's really nice design. And what also, for knowing you a bit more than the others, what I can also say, and that I would recommend the other entrepreneurs do, is that you are very busy, as you all are, but you never say no to an opportunity to share, because this is really information that others get free. I mean, that you get out of experience. And of course, she doesn't tell us for interest of time all the challenges she had to go through. I mean, we can believe that, but this is to say, try to seize any opportunity to speak, to show you products, you know, because you will always gain contacts and you never know where they will get you, you know, in terms of opportunities. And it's even more, you know, and that's why it's very important on the branding and marketing part. And is a marketing strategy, not say no to as maximum as opportunities you can have. And Rachel, it's all impressive. Just from my side, a quick one. Like previously, you know, this laureate, and I see the 𝗕𝗁𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, I saw it in the social media, very impressive, and congratulations again. This has brought, of course, visibility as well, recognition. And how would you value this type of you know, awards and recognitions for the brand growth, for the networking opportunities beyond any type of grant or money? And then also, you know, on the part of what insights can you share about using the market data to shape branding decisions a bit? Is there a lot of work you had to do there? I mean, because of course it all looks nice, but at the end of the day, it's a bit of work. And you maintain that across the different, companies and work you have. Can you say a bit more on this?
Sure. Well, first off, the awards and stuff, how I look at it is that's the cherry on top. It's not really the meat of what you do. Hopefully you're not doing meat with cherries, but the ice cream part. And I think when you tell your story and you share your experiences, even with your customers, challenges you might be facing, it sort of opens up person seeing you in a that you're more than just this business, you're more than just this service. And I think you bring that human element. And I think what Felicia was saying was important earlier about bringing yourself forward in the brand. I was not always as great on, well, I've grown a lot to be on camera and to speak publicly. And it every time I took it on, it always opened up more opportunities and persons. It's not so much that you're not doing great work, it's just you're not necessarily on the radar or being seen in the way that you are seeing yourself. So definitely, putting yourself out there more, even just start with your customers, getting feedback from them, having conversations. So coming out of that with data, it doesn't matter if you have 5 customers or 10,000 customers. It's when we first started, I had 10 customers and that was my data pool, right? I would survey even those 10 customers. I would look at the data. I would get their feedback because the customer is going to tell you how their lifestyle is changing. And while ideally we'll say, yes, everyone can eat healthy, you see where now we have to go now we have to prepare the meals for them. And if I stuck to just, okay, no, everyone should cook, not everyone has that same lifestyle and or that ability to do so. So we have a lot of differently able elderly customers. So definitely just interviewing, send a survey, create a survey. There's free online tools, create a survey, send it out to your customers this week, get some feedback and use that data to now guide you on making those decisions. When it comes to branding and packaging, of course, it's not to copy the bigger brands, but you don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? Frozen fruits is a segment. And if you look now on Blenders has a smoothie button. When we first started, imagine how that has now changed the sector because, remember when they had the popcorn button on microwaves, that allowed microwave popcorn to exponentially grow. So looking at where the technology is not always in your industry, but maybe if you're producing a product, how are ovens changing? How are the tools to prepare your products changing? And I think that was something that we used a lot in guiding. And the last thing is just with choosing flavors. If you search on Google health and papaya or health and dragon fruit, you see where over the years there's increased searches around that particular product. So that's a good tool I find I use a lot to see how the searches have grown. And you can see how pomegranate, all these superfruits have sort of evolved. So using that data, and it doesn't matter if it's small or pockets of data, it's really about using it to piece together a plan for your business, right? So those are some of the tips that I use.
And it's not, thank you, Rachel. And it's not always with a lot of fans necessarily,
No.
because a lot can be search and listening. And I like that. I mean, any customer is important, especially that even when you have few, you don't know where they are going to get you. They recommend, they can recommend you, they can get many more, etc.
When I first started, one customer of the 10 sent out an email to all her coworkers and our customer base literally grew to 30. So, these are the things that can change and it doesn't happen overnight and it is a long journey. I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years. So, this did not happen overnight. So
But it is indeed important to do that and to keep monitoring. I like also the web, for example, but as many other things, meetings, networks, etc. And also the part that we didn't mention before, but is important for events, and sometimes you are invited to high-level as well policy debates and so on, is the skills on speaking. I mean, public speaking and so on, which also there are kind of courses sometimes because any of us has to improve at some time, and really tips. And I've seen many changes on young entrepreneurs and less young entrepreneurs, by the way, and ourselves on just trying to train. I mean, to get some help, some assistance, and so on. This is key as well, because you also have as a person, as an entrepreneur, to speak to customers, to researchers, to policymakers, to finance, and so on. And all the presentation of the company and of yourself is important. So I like that as well. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we have tried again, we had Fatou from Senegal, from Fatou and Khadija Enterprise, sorry, from Guinea. It happens that she's today. And she has really connection problems. It's the country that has, so it's a pity. She sent a very nice presentation. We will get her. If we don't get her before the end of the session today, we will get her, of course, in a coming session. It's a very inspiring story as well. And, connection problems are the reality we should remember. But perhaps in the meantime, we can go to the questions. 𝗦𝗲𝗊𝗶, perhaps if you put that slide, and we bring Nina. So 𝗦𝗲𝗊𝗶 is also one of our team from COLEAD. By the way, it's her birthday, so happy birthday. So in the coming ones, in the Q&A, Nina is going to monitor a bit what the audience has been saying. Actually, there are many also proposals. There are many already, people like for Rachel and others that just testify that they are very good products and very good branding, and they are very happy with what has been done, etc. And Felicia, and there are also many kind of business or contacts that you can make directly. So please monitor as well the chat and use those, because they are bilateral ones. But Nina is a project officer at COLEAD as well, in the department I work for with 𝗦𝗲𝗊𝗶. It happens we are all women, but Alonso will come at the end, because we are very pleased to have a man as well. Nina, you have some questions that you have been looking through?
Yes, thank you.
Hello, Nina.
Hello, everyone. Thank you to the speakers, very inspiring, and thank you for all the questions and comments posted in the chat. So first of all, we'll go back to Chigozie. A few questions for you. First of all, more directly about the packaging and branding. So how do you manage to source good packaging, which actually improves your marketing and branding?
Okay, hi, thank you, Nina. So packaging, we source from packaging companies that are in China, as well as we have a packaging company that's Swiss packaging. So, but more of it from China anyway. So, but we choose the biodegradable pouch. And so that's how we source our packaging.
Okay, thank you. Another question for you then would be, so you founded your company, the 𝗦𝗲𝗊𝗶. Could you tell us a bit about any challenges you faced during your startup phase? And if you did indeed encounter some challenges, what kind of strategies would you recommend for overcoming them, particularly for young businesses and that are owned by a woman?
Okay, so some of the challenges we faced when we first started were we had quality issues, we had staffing issues, we had funding issues, and so Nigeria is business in Nigeria is actually not so easy, I must say. at a point so when we first started, one of the reasons why we had funding quality issues were because we had staff that were where we had a high turnover of employees. So one of the ways we solved that was we just had to do we had to do standard SOPs for all our products. So, and all our tested products, we did standard SOPs for them. And so anybody that comes in during the onboarding period, one of the first things we do, especially when you're being onboarded in the production department, is those SOPs, you have to go through them. So you have to go through them, and then of course, by the time the practical section, you go through the practical section of it, so you know what it is you're doing. So if someone resigns, we are not running helter-skelter looking for how to replace, or even before we replace, everybody knows what to do. So we try to get everybody to go through all the SOPs when we onboard you in the production department. And that also helps with quality also. So everyone knows how many kgs for this raw material will blend well with with the other kg of this. So everyone knows that. So that helped us really to solve the problem we had with quality. It helped us with issues we had with staffing in production. People resign, you cannot tell them to stay, you cannot tell them, especially as a newbie. When you first start, people want to work for the big companies. And so when they get a job opportunity, they move. So you can only safeguard yourself by ensuring that you have your templates ready, you have your SOPs ready. So when I was in my 9-to-5, one of the things I learned then was we had SOPs for everything. We had SOPs, even the cleaners had SOPs. So we adopted that. Everyone has a checklist, everyone has an SOP. So once the cleaner comes in, the cleaner knows what to do first, what to do second, what to do third. Once the production staff come in, they know what to do and they tick off. So that has helped us. So now it's now it's routine work for us. But when we first started, we struggled, but we found our balance with that. So I hope that answers that question. And in terms of funding, I applied for grants. I mean, I applied, I can't tell you how many grants, but I kept on applying for grants, because one of the things about grants is I call it free money because you don't have to repay back. You're not under pressure like the loans, although you have to show traction for the money that you have collected, but then you're not under pressure, you're not buckling under pressure like when you get money from the banks. So I did a lot of grants for my business. I applied for a lot of grants for my business, and that helped us during our startup phase. So I hope that helped. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Chigozie. And a last question, maybe you talked about it already a bit, but if you can expand a bit more. So what have been the most effective marketing tools or channels you've used to overcome the visibility challenges in such a competitive market that is Nigeria?
Okay, we use social media. So social media gives you, well, a lot of visibility. You can't, having a website also helped, because there are people that will not do business with you if you do not have a website. So because then they don't know what you're doing and they can't track you. So we had a website from when we started, and also we improved our footprint, digital footprints. We started off with Instagram, and then gradually we went to LinkedIn. When we started more of B2B, we had to open a LinkedIn profile and try to connect as much as possible with companies. So depending on what your goal is, you would ask yourself and then determine which of the digital platform works for you. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, and we have LinkedIn. So if you're doing B2C, I mean, we have Facebook groups, and of course, WhatsApp business groups. So we belong to a lot of WhatsApp business groups. So they have posting days, market days, and a lot of marketplaces. So we try as much as possible to be visible in those groups. And we truly get businesses from those groups.
Great, thank you. Thank you for replying very clearly to all the questions. Now let's go to Felicia, and we'll ask you some questions as well. So to start with, well, so you've worked with very high-profile clients. As said before, like Disney, Subway, different clients. So how did you build credibility as a woman entrepreneur in a very male-dominated tech and media sector?
Everybody can hear me, right? Yeah, so with the Creative Orange community in the Bahamas, it is extremely underdeveloped and underfunded. So when you're trying to do that type of industry, you would have to start a lot from scratch. And even when you look at agricultural businesses, you would have to do a lot of the labor from scratch. And so what I end up doing is doing a lot of free work, right? A lot of people, even though I know we talk about digital spaces today, but one thing we can't underestimate is word of mouth. So I would look at a certain brand and I'd be like, okay, let me rebrand you for free. And so I kept doing that, and it just reached back to someone and be like, who did your website? Who did your logo? And it would just come back and I'd be like, okay, this is how much I charge. Right? So say if you're looking at agricultural business, if you want to do B2B, and say if you're selling nuts, I think someone, selling nuts, you could offer a business a free package, a care package, and say, okay, sample some of my products. And so free work and exposure still exists. I know people would be like, I rather get pay up front. I rather the exposure up front, but sometimes that's not how it works unless you have that big capital to do the big brand marketing campaign or the big grand advertisement with billboards. If you don't have that capital, do it for free or do it for and it's not just doing it for free. I didn't just do it for free. Let me just come and say, okay, let me brand you for free, let me market you for free. It was an exchange. So if it was like in-kind services, I would do this for you. My business need this. And that's how I was able to build my business. That's how I was able to build connections. And it don't have to be something that they give me. It could also be, let me do this for you and you connect me to this person. So there's all these strategies to expand your market, expand your exposure, and word of mouth is a good thing. That's why first impressions are very good. When you send your product out there, make sure, say if you want to sell some samples out there, make sure that's the best ones you could put out there. It's because if people see it horrible, they're not going to recommend you. They're not going to talk about you. One of the presenters, Rachel, said that from one email, she got 30 new customers. If that person wasn't impressed with her branding, that person wasn't impressed, she wasn't going to send that email. In her face, she might say, oh, yeah, your product is good. But she really swore to the product that she sent it to her email. Is that type of trust you want to build? That's the type of leverage you want to try to achieve when it comes to expanding and trying to reach out to clients. I don't know if that answered the question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That answered the question, yeah. I have then a second question for you. You already talked a bit about storytelling. So with 𝗦𝗁𝗃𝗃𝗃, you're using or you've used storytelling to showcase the Bahamian culture. We were wondering, what role does authentic storytelling play in building a strong brand identity? If you can expand a bit more on that.
Is because people, what is my husband, he has a degree in psychology, and his concentration is consumer and market research. And when he would discuss things that happened in his course before he graduated, I realized that people buy emotions. People don't buy because your art look good. People don't buy because you have a good price. People buy because I connect with you on a personal level. This is why you see big tech companies. This is why you see big brands have a face. This is the CEO. This is the CMO. This is even if the CEO and the CMO don't want to be the face, look at Subway. Subway had Jared for a while, and I think Subway had, I can't remember, it was another person. Pine Sol wasn't doing really well. And you know what happened? They end up having the lady with who used to do like the eye thing. I can't remember what it was. It's like this funny expression she used to do when she's smelling the Pine Sol. So my thing is, people would remember that jokey video or that funny video or that video when they go shopping. They have all kind of cleaning products. They have all kind of fruits and vegetables. But when they see your content, what emotion did you invoke? What emotion did you draw? Did you draw that you're making me want to be healthy? Did you draw that I'm trying to shift my the way I eat for my family? So it's an emotional place, and that's how you should treat your brand. Don't be too rigid. Don't be too non-flexible. Tell your story. I love one of the speakers today. She talked about how her family wanted to change that directory of how they eat, and that's how she came up with her business. She could come to me and talk to me for 2 hours and talk about how the fruits just grow at this temperature, at this rate. It's the freshest. We pick it at noon in the morning. I would not retain any of that information. But the information I would retain is her packaging and how her business started, because she wanted to change her lifestyle. She wanted to change her family's lifestyle. I would leave with that. And so every time I see her brand, out of everything I see on the shelf, if I go to a farmer's market, for every fruit or vegetables or nuts that I see, or flour I see, I would remember her brand because of the story, but not because of the facts, if that makes sense. So that's how you stay authentic.
Thank you. Yes, okay, great. So yeah, building a strong brand identity comes with storytelling. So this could be indeed a key also for small businesses with limited budgets. But then how would you what would you say is really the key then to getting this digital marketing or these videos, for example, this content to really, in a sense, go viral?
I always say find that sweet spot, or I basically say find the word, is because you could put a show of emoji hands. How much of y'all scroll through TikTok? There's thousands of videos you could scroll throughout a week. But what was that video that made you stop? Something was, so you would have talking heads, you would have someone trying to show you their cooking, they're trying to show you their dog for some reason, or their child dribbling or something, or thinking this is the most cute moment. But the video that you stopped to and did something different. It did something weird. I always say find the weird, find your uniqueness. So all of the content, behemoth type content that was happening during the time before we did our videos was just people just doing comedy sketches, or just doing like ranting on social media, being funny, being comedic, and they would just talk about behemoth culture. We wanted to test behemoth culture. So what we did is we brought people in the studio and we challenged them. So it was this great discussion, and also it was timing as well. It's because there was this discussion about behemoth identity. Do we know who we are as a people? So one of the videos I had is 2 Bahamian branded chicken, KFC and Popeyes, and I had 2 local Bahamian fried chicken I blindfolded people and they had to eat each of the chicken and see if they could tell the difference between the Bahamian brands and the US brands. That was a good conversation because as Bahamians being so close to the United States, they think we're very Americanized. So the fact that people were now challenged in, are you really truly Bahamian? That was a sweet spot in conversation. So kind of keep your ears to what is the conversation in your industry at this moment, and what is that sweet spot that you could tie that in. So there's a lot of conversation about fast grown food or lab grown food or something like that. What if you do a video where you test your naturally grown products against the rumored? You don't have to even show the branding, but the rumored grown, and show the difference, show the natural of having your stuff come from Africa, having your stuff come from the Caribbean. So it's like, find out what your industry is talking about now, find that weird, I always call it the weird or that special sweet spot, and combine the two and make content from it. And it could just be a 10-second, 20-second, 30-second video. It doesn't have to be, long cinematic production. It could just be you talking about it. It could just be showing behind the scenes, things like that. So that's my recommendation.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Felicia, for all your answers. We'll go now to Rachel. And we also have a few questions for you. The first one that was already also asked to Chigozie, but could you tell us, how do you manage to source good packaging, which improves your marketing and branding?
Yeah, so packaging, back when we launched about 10 years ago, China or Alibaba would have been that go-to if you were to search reasonable packaging. So we do source for some of our clients as well as ourselves some packaging out of China. However, there's a local company called the Pouch Company that launched in Trinidad and Tobago. And what we realized, we ended up becoming strategic partners with them, where we help our clients now order locally from them. So now you can say, okay, everything is locally produced or locally manufactured. The cost is a little more buying directly from them because they are also bringing in and printing it here. But as they grow, their costs are going to go down. So we know in time it's going to become affordable, and it's a good opportunity. So they also do ship regionally as well. So they're called the Pouch Company. And then as well, we source packaging for ourselves and some clients out of China, depending. So like some of our products are in bulk stores, and you don't have as much margin in those retailers. So we would source cheaper packaging for that particular line sometimes. So you have to be very resourceful and innovative in sourcing your packaging. It's not always a one size fits all. And then if you have products like in boxes or in other types of packaging, we also work with different printers and packaging partners to source those items.
Great, thank you. Thank you for this answer. Another question we've had is, so you've launched multiple businesses within the food ecosystem that you like so much. We were wondering, how do you maintain a consistent and impactful brand voice across these different businesses?
Right. So when because I do workshops and mentor and stuff around branding, and I found a phrase that said, your brand is your voice and your product is your souvenir. And I found that really helps me stay true to, who my brand is. If it's your voice, it's what you say every day, it's what you're telling the customers every day, it's what you stand for. And with launching the design company, we did hire, skilled persons in branding, packaging design, marketability. I mean, one person at first, of course. But I think that helped us uncover, and they were able to teach us skills around finding your brand voice. And one important part was that your brand is sort of held up on these pillars. So like, what are 3 words that define your brand? So for us, health, convenience, you know, sustainability, these are some of the pillars that uphold our brand. And once you are sure that these are the things that can stand the test of time, and it can evolve, you can switch a pillar depending on how times change. But of course, it's not something you change daily. So you want to build on those pillars. So if it's health, you know, we make sure that, you know, we won't sell products that are not necessarily around wellness or is not locally sourced. So depending, you know, so using those pillars to guide how you make decisions in your business. So it's like a no-brainer now, right? If someone comes to you and says, I want to do this, or I want to work with your brand, you just do a quick checklist. Does this person or does this solution align with what your brand stands for? And sometimes you have to make those hard decisions. You know, we would have gotten opportunities with larger buyers, but they were only focused on price. And they didn't care about the quality, where it was sourced. They just wanted the best price. And we had to sort of give up on that customer because it didn't serve us, because we were driving their needs and not the company's needs. So those are sort of the checklists that I do to make sure that it aligns. And that's how I stay true to my brand. Definitely, you know, looking at other brands in your field to see how they are communicating, how they are aligning, not copying again, but really to just see, okay, in frozen fruits, what are some of the things that customers are excited about? You know, quality, taste, shelf life extension. So these are standard things in your industry and for your brand that you need to sort of also communicate to the customer. So those are some ways that I reinforce my brand. And of course, if it doesn't taste good, I'm not going to sell it. So.
Great. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you very much for this. And as a last question for you, Rachel, so you gave a lot of insights about using data, using market data to shape branding decisions, but we were also wondering, how has digital innovation helped maybe bridge the gap between farmers and consumers, and also in your branding and marketing strategy?
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, everyone is like AI and we think, you know, robots, and we have to have all these high-tech solutions. But, you know, WhatsApp really changed our business. That was a simple way to communicate with our farmers, with our customers in real time. We have like online chats on our website, but integrating that technology. So we use email marketing. So everyone, we gather an email address, no matter, you know, if they come to the store, if they go online, we capture that data so that we can now email and stay connected with our customers. One other technology or integration that we've done with our farmers is where we get alerts when we have low stock amounts or on the website, and that can trigger an email to some of our suppliers or farmers that we are below stock. So they can know, okay, let me start preparing the standard order or what the average order might look like. And that took some time. Not all our farmers or all our customers are very tech savvy or tech integrated, but you have to sort of meet persons where they are sometimes. And, you know, we're a very feature forward company. We're always looking in the future. But it's important for us to also know what does our current market look like, right? So as I said, the WhatsApp really works for us. Email marketing is, because we're online, works very well for us. Of course, social media, I might reach out to Felicia. I haven't quite, you know, with the social media, you can do things naturally and post things. But I think that sometimes I get overwhelmed with that part of the technology, because you see other brands doing amazing things online and you're sort of, you're not able to necessarily communicate that the same way, or you don't have the fancy video and things like that. But it's just about taking the content and making sure that the communication is there, right? So social media, definitely, we are able to use some of the data with boosting ads, where our customers exist. Google ads are very, we use that a lot with connecting and reaching more customers, because anyone who searches food in this area, they'll see our store pop up or something like that. So those are some of the technologies that we would have integrated. Of course, being an e-commerce online store is one of the best solutions we have, because we can have customers all over the world. And we can also, again, capture that data and use that to now connect with them on a deeper level.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Rachel. That is a very interesting answer. There is no more questions, I think. So, Isolina, you
I
can.
saw someone ask the size of our team. So we're at about 20 persons. We do have interns from agriculture programs. So that was one thing that really benefited us. We were able to hire persons from government programs, and their salaries were covered by the government or covered through those programs, and it offset those costs for us. And we were able to get more specialized interns who were interested in agriculture. And I think that was human resource is one of your most costly parts of running a business. So when as much as you're able to tap into talent or human resources in a way that helps you grow and supports your business as well, we definitely use that. And I saw someone ask about the cassava packaging. So again, we would design the packaging for you and then source the packaging materials. So you can feel free to reach out to us, and if you want to support on, enhancing your packaging and branding and those things.
Thank you very much, Nina. If you don't have more, if you have more, it's just the time, participants. And also I will give the last floor to add anything to the speakers. I wanted to add, Rachel, thank you very much, because this part I've known some entrepreneurs actually that have, as you said, I mean, when you don't have that many resources or that many funding, or you have to use anything possible. I've done that myself as well in my career. So interns, volunteers, exchange students, I mean, anybody interested. You have plenty of people interested in, in working and learning. And sometimes, you have to be creative in the people you have. I saw as well a question actually to saying, do you have legal people and accountants and very much specialists? I think it was to 𝗬𝗁𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂 and of course, if you can afford, the more experts you have, but that's at some level. Sometimes you have to start by just, being a bit creative and not having as many expertise as you would require in-house, but having ways of getting it, be in a cheap way or sometimes free, because there is still a lot of free, out there. And there are many questions as well on acceleration programs, on grants. Thank you very much to all of you for having shared some of the, which not everybody people shares. And, the awards you got, I mean, all the kind of rewarding, so grants and so on. It's, of course, you have to monitor in your countries. We can share some resources. However, it will always be limited, because locally there are opportunities we are not necessarily aware. Hence the need, to be very, very proactive, to look at any possibility. You have organizations that give across continents, a bit more globally, if you want, or, some of our organizations do as well, UN Women, COLEAD, and other organizations we work with. However, in a very specific value chain or country, you still have to monitor the opportunities there and go to your chambers of commerce, to partners, development partners. I mean, you have to be a bit proactive to know, what's going on, because indeed it is in the websites, it is shared, but you know what it is. Sometimes nobody has time to go every day through the websites of the partners, of the finance people, etc. So you really that contact with people, you know, with going to the contacting by email or going yourself to their offices, explaining what you do and so on is also important. So I think the proactivity is key. So I will just give you the last, we cannot get Fatou again. We tried, the connection is still very bad. Well, it's inexistent basically. So I give you the last round of, you know, 1-2 minutes to mention anything you want to add to either what has been said or in the chat or, you know, or anything you want to bring. And then I will give the floor to Alonso. Yes. Do you want to add anything from your sides? More or no need to do that? Chigozie, Felicia, Rachel?
Yeah, I just overall just grateful to share and you know, definitely love your business. I always tell people, but don't fall in love with it. Because you know, you don't always see the flaws or you don't see the gaps. So it's always about when you find those challenges or you know, yes, it's a problem, but there's always a solution. There's always some way around it, right? So see those challenges as gaps and really take that love to that. Because if you love something, you know, you want to see it grow, you want to see it get better, and invite your customers to feel a part of that.
Thank you. Very wise words.
And
Felicia? Oh, Chigozie, sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
so from my end, I will say keep innovating. So there's always something new. And for people who want to, we are impact driven. We're an impact driven business because we provide discounted healthy food products for diabetic patients. We try to give back to our community. And so in giving back to your community, you will find ways to innovate so that these good thing or the good goal, the vision you have can get to them. So I'll say keep innovating, keep finding ways to solve problems, especially through the what you're doing. And then don't forget to give back to the community.
thank you very much. Very appreciated, because the entrepreneurs like you that come to this series are really successful, as I said, despite challenges encountered. And you never, as Rachel said, you never should be discouraged. I mean, you know, you have to see them as obstacles. You know, in anybody path at some point, but there are always entrepreneurs that are mentors, that give back to the community, that are very much in that ecosystem. And this is important. We don't see entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, as people making money and that's it for them. That's important, obviously, you work and you have to do that, but giving back in a way or another to the community. So thank you very much for reminding that. Felicia?
Hi, I just want to thank everyone who attended. And I just want to leave you with the reminder of not hiding behind your brand, because representation of woman-led business is very important today, especially if you are in male-dominated industries. So just show up, be present, and continue to be great.
Thank you very much for the encouragements. I have to say that all the presentations were, as mentioned in the chat, over and over, very, very inspiring, and I learned a lot myself. I take the opportunity actually for the participants to also mention many of the participants are, of course, entrepreneurs themselves. So please reach out if you want to also be presenter in one of the coming sessions. You know, some we know them and others we don't. You know, it's just people we think are important. Or their business is nice. They have developed very interesting parts, and we just invite them. So please don't be shy and reach out. We will be, you know, delighted that it has inspired you enough as to come and share your business as well. Another thing I wanted to share with you is that, but in the coming session, Alonso will talk a bit, but we will share more. We have on the packaging, for example, or which is of course very much related, and labeling very much related to the conversation of today, and Nina has already posed some questions on that. We have a discussion list, we have a forum, it's also South-South, of discussion of experiences. Some are experts and others are entrepreneurs, and where we shared, tips, information, be on the regulation part, be on the market access part. We also compile a kind of list of sources of packaging, be international or be local, meaning in Africa or in the Caribbean and so on, because it's questions that we always get from the enterprises. It's very difficult to get sustainable packaging, not coming from far, at a good price, etc. So we try to do to compile this information. So reach out if you are interested in joining those. It's free and open to joining this forum, but you just need to register because it's something very, very useful. So without a major delay, well, from my side, I have to say that I like very much, the topic, because I feel that, you can really develop that part and be much more known, and, the enterprise as well. So I thank you very much. Of course, I thank all the participants. I thank the team that was involved in that. I thank UN Women, Gail, that couldn't be with us today, but was, of course, working in the background. Alonso will come in now. And of course, Nina again, and 𝗬𝗲𝗂𝗶. Happy birthday again today, and thanks for still coming to the session and working. And the interpreters, without whom we couldn't have exchanged today. And we want really to be that South-South. And when possible, we will be also adding other languages for the other regions we have, like South America, Asia, and so on. But without major delay, I give the last floor to Alonso Bobes. He's working at UN Women. He's part of the team, is Empowerment Associate at the UN Women in the Caribbean team. Actually, is a team that deals with the private sector part of UN Women. We do those sessions together. So we interact with Alonso on a daily almost basis. As Nina and 𝗬𝗂𝗂𝗏 are very, very enthusiastic and very committed. So it's very nice to have you. And thank you very much for your work as well, by the way. So please, I give you, you have been listening and contributing in the background. So please, I give you the last words. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Isolina. I would like to first thank to you for conducting this webinar, but also thanks to all the team. Thank you to Nina, and thank you to 𝗬𝗂𝗂𝗏 and the people from communication working behind the scene. Thank you, of course, by our side to the interpreters, as you already said. It is a pleasure to have them here. I'm always very impressed about the feeling of community we create with this webinar. It's already the second session, and it's really amazing the way the people engage with us. And that's thanks to the entrepreneurs mainly. It's thanks to the people joining us, to the incredible stories we can hear. That's the big thank you. That's for you, COC, for you, Felicia, for you, Rachel, for Fatu that couldn't be here. But thank you for all you have been participating with. You mentioned, COC, the importance of produce food ethically. I was impressed how experience you have in your life change, and you switch professionally and you start growing your business. Also, Felicia, you mentioned the power of beauty and the power of beauty you have shown through your storytelling this morning was incredible. So thank you for sharing with us. Thank you so much, Rachel. You brought innovative ideas to this table, to this conversation. You made it as well with your business with the click and collect store. That was an amazing idea at the time. The ability you have to expressing yourself and to communicate yourself today was incredible, but also the way you listen to your customers and you create your branding, and your marketing campaign was completely incredible. So thanks for that. And what I wanted to say is that all these strengths you have as entrepreneurs individually is very indicative of this session, because we cannot have all the skills together. That's impossible. We cannot, but we all can all together learn about these skills. And that's the good part of this session and the webinar, and that's the inspiring thing of having you here together. So thank you so much. The objective of me being here at the very end is that I'm gonna launch a quiz. I will do it in 4 minutes, 4 seconds. Give me just 1-2 minutes. But I would like to thank also the people behind the screen that have been participating online, because you are a big part of this webinar too. We know how much effort and dedication it takes to run a business, especially in today's world, and we deeply appreciate everything you are doing again. With this webinar, we have reached 1,000 people registered, and 300 people has participated until now in these 2 sessions. The good thing is that there is going to be a third session. The name of this session is going to be Power in Connection, Collaborating and Networking for Women's Business Growth. So the topic we have been talking also today about networking and engage with other people is going to be the main topic for us during the next session, that is going to have place on the 21st of May. 21st of May. So in 1 month and a half, more or less. We hope you will all join us again, and we will be very grateful if you can do so. We will send all the information shortly. We are also gonna send all the information regarding this last session, so you can have access to all the resources that will be definitely very interesting for you. And yeah, now it's time for me to share with you the quiz. I hope you can complete the quiz with 3 questions. Thank you so much. Give you some time to complete it. It's a little bit of feedback, so we can know a little bit how can we improve during the next sessions. It's very helpful for us to have your opinion and your review, and that will maintain our aim of improving these sessions. So definitely will be very helpful. And as I said just before, the next session will be about networking and collaboration. These sessions are about more than just meeting people. It's about creating meaningful connections to support your growth, open new opportunities, and build confidence. So we have seen that with strong networks, we can help women. We can access to new markets, we can gain knowledge, build new partnerships, and also we can create this sense of community and encourage you to keep going. So I don't know if you need more time to complete the satisfaction survey. I see that you are still doing it. You're 25, 27. Keep it. We can leave it for 1 more minute. We're still having time. I don't know if someone else wants to say something. Isolina, maybe. That's all by my side.
Yes. Thank you very much, Alonso.
Thank you.
Great idea to do, yes, a survey online. And I hope, and also, you know, as we have put that email, if you want to present, if you want to join the packaging labeling group, the
Yes.
same, obviously, you know, if you need more resources, if you have topics you would like, you know, that we deal with as well in
Yes.
the coming sessions, is very flexible. Huh? We
Yes.
just answer needs, requests, and so on. That would be great as well. And yes, and like you, I also thank the communication people that are always helping us with those sessions. So you stop the survey, I mean the feedback when you want. If you can't do it now, you can always sent by, of course, any communication by email, indeed.
Yes. We have now 50 replies. People are still replying, but I think we can already end the poll here. I'm gonna end it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I cannot see it myself, but I guess you can.
Yes. No. So thank you so much for joining us this session. We will be in touch. Isolina, I don't know if you want to say some last words, but if not, thank you everyone for joining us from different parts of the world, different time zones. We know that you are doing an effort. Have a good end of the day, beginning of the day, middle of the day. Have a good day. We hope you had a great time here with us together. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye,
Perhaps. Bye. Rachel, see you soon. Perhaps we can see the survey. I think I
Yes.
missed. You have it on screen, Alon? Yes. Very good. Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
We'll
now
talk
I
later,
see.
Isolina.
Yes.
Bye. Thank you so
Ciao.
much. Thank you so much, Nina. Thank you so much, Bye.
Bye.